Good day, boys and girls. How's everybody doing today? Ho, ho, ho. Santa Claus here to open a 1957 D roll for the pleasure of many. Get my stuff out of the way here. Get myself situated. Somebody let me know I'm actually live. This thing always makes me wonder. Hello, JLB, Sissy Atwell, Hawkeye, Chris Vines, Joe McBride. Get these things moved over to where it belongs. I always forget to bring something to the table with me. And I know what it was that I forgot this time. In just a moment while I bow out and bow back in. I had to get a pad. Forgot to bring a pad to the table. Okay, folks. For those of you who've been following this show since its beginning, today is going to be a first. Today is going to be a first ever. If you will notice, our little name holder nameplate things are printed. I did not scribble them with a magic marker. This is a first. I made a template last night, started printing and cutting these things, and I tell you what, they're a lot faster than writing them, I tell you that for sure. So I got 50 names here. All 50 names represented. I know there's 50 names because, well, my template only holds 50 names and holds exactly 50 names. So I can just go ahead and toss these in the bag because I know there's 50 of them there. Make sure my bag is empty. And it is. And here we go. Hello, Jeremy, Jim Fletcher, Wild Bill, Layla Lady. Haven't seen you in a little while. Get all these shuck up here. And here's our 1957 D roll for this afternoon. This is reveal number 44. See if I can get this thing open. Totally destroying the piece of paper. Alright, there we go. Alright, what a gift. Okay, I am going to do something about this camera, like really soon. Here, that'll get me started anyway. Off in the right direction. Okay, here we go. Hello, Ron Fry. Here's our roll. I'm going to go ahead and start opening it. Are you lagging? Well, it's okay. You're not buying anything today, so sit back and enjoy the show at whatever pace you enjoy it at. Alright, there's that. Got one end done. It's usually going to be one or the other end that's really hard to do. And I generally learn to pick the easiest one first for some reason. There we go. It's coming open now. 1957D. There's a number of different things that we actually look for on the 1957D. We've been through a couple of 57D rules recently, and we haven't really found any of the double die obverses. I'm hoping to get into at least one of the double die obverses so we can kind of explore that, and I can show you exactly what they look like. They can be very interesting. Just checking the condition of the coins real quick. Well, they're at the very least, they're acceptable. They look nice. So, let's see what we end up with here. Let's draw the first name for the new... This needs to be moved down a little bit that way. All right, let's draw the first name for the new era of... There, do it that way. Of pulling him. This one's going to be for Marshall. And part of his name got cut off when it turned out to be Marshali. So, he gets the head coin on here. And the head coin actually has some pretty nice toning on it. I like the way it looks. It's kind of pretty. So, New Marshall, let's see what we got for you, brother. Get this focused in here just a little better. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on the date or mint mark. No doubled I. I'm not seeing doubling in Liberty. I'm not seeing anything. See some color up here. It's a pretty nice color. The lettering's a different color than the field around them. That's kind of neat. That's what happens sometimes when you get the end of a roll, right? Alright, 1957D is not known for double die reverses, but we'll check anyway. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Still have time to do this. Hang on just a second. Gotta toss one in there for the roll, for the wrapper. I didn't make a little card for the wrapper, so I'm gonna have to do that now. I'll just do the regular. I put a couple stars on it. There we go. We got one with some stars on it, so I know where it sits. Shake it up real nice and well. Get it mixed in with everything else. I like toning too. I think toning's kind of cute. This is a nice one. It's pretty. I like the colors. The reverse, though, is going to be a normal red uncirculated coin. And let's see if we have any hub doubling going on here. We don't. And like I said, 1957D is not known for double die reverses. However, I look at them anyway because you never know when you might discover something. You never know. All right. Marshall gets coin number 1. On to coin number 2. Coin number 2 will belong to Hurlstormer. Let's see what Hurlstormer gets. See, I'm not seeing an RPM. No doubled I. So no hub doubling on the obverse of this one. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. Yeah. It's a later die state coin. It's nice looking. Not a lot of damage of any sort. There's a big die chip on the corner of the T. Looks like an icicle dripping water. Okay. I got nothing in coin number 2, but that's for Hurlstormer. Coin number 3. Next we have Andrew O'Neill. Let's see what we have here. A lot of die scratches on this one. Something tells me that my lighting just isn't quite right now. Sort of kind of wondering how come I've got what appears to be. Let me see if I can change this just a little bit. It appears to be kind of dark on the right side, and I'm not really sure why. Let's see if maybe I can turn this around. No. Hang on a second here. I think my cap is a little wonky. Let's try that. Much better. I'm getting a little sparked out here because my right side wasn't working well. Okay. Now I'm back. Let's see, we got some strong die scratches on the left side of the design. We'll keep that in mind as a marker for future endeavors into this roll. I don't see anything on the obverse of this coin. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse and see what happened there. And I show nothing on the reverse. A little bit of strike weakness. That's kind of normal for 1957D. Off work for a couple of days. Awesome. Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley will get the next coin in the roll. What do we have? Oh, that's interesting. Well, we should be able to find something on this. That's a split serif RPM, but it also has a die break in the 9 and the 5 of the date. We'll zoom in and take a quick look at the repunchment mark. If I could get the coin to actually come into focus. Hang on just a second here. Oy, oy, oy. There we go. A little better. There we go. So you can see a pretty nicely doubled serif on the lower part of the mint mark. And then, oh, it's doubled on the upper two, just not very strong. But then you have a nice big bit of die fill there in the 9 and in the 5. Hello, Robert. And so I think we should be able to find our way around this one pretty easily. Let's see. So if it's listed, we'll definitely find it wherever it is. And then I'll get it listed if it's not, because this one's good enough to list. There are a bunch of different repunchment marks for 1957D. So the idea that this may not be a listed one presently, may not be anyway, is not surprising at all to me. Let's flip it over and take a look at the other side and see what happened on the other side. Get my pins out of my way so my hand will fit in my desk. There we go. That's much more comfy. Not seeing anything on this side of this coin. So we do have a repunchment mark. Let's take a look for some markers real quick so we'll know what we're looking at next time we see one. Okay, we have old die scratches north and south next to the Y of Liberty. Looks like maybe that's all we're going to get. Some old die scratches north and south in front of the face, right in front of the nose and mouth. We'll go with that. Hey, Andrew. So Mr. Worley gets the first RPM in the roll. We'll put his name with that and stick it over to the side. Got it in a different place from the other coins. Next will be Hurlstormer. Hurlstormer get the next coin in the roll. What do we see? We might have a little bit of a repunchment mark going on there. Give it a quick close check. Yeah, not enough. There is just a little tiny bit of doubling on the lower serif, but that's just not enough. These little tiny baby splits. They're really hard to attribute. They're really hard to see in circulated condition, so it'd be almost impossible for people to collect a full set. And there's not much, if any, real premium value associated with them. So I've just gone to a point where I don't really have any excitement or interest in listing them because they're just too minor. And I hate to say those words because I once mocked James Wiles for doing just that, for saying that different dies were too minor. But over my years of experience, I've learned from his knowledge and experience in what he did or did not do. And oddly enough, I've taken on some of his habits that I had at one time considered bad habits. Now I know why he did them. Ron Fry, next coin in the list here. Oh, what do we have for him? No, looks like the same thing. Let's see if we've got a marker we can use on this so that we'll know when we get through another one. See, there's a big die scratch between the TY of Liberty. So we'll know that that one is normal when we run into it again. It's actually a big die scratch between the TY of Liberty, and it runs up and intersects with another one that goes all the way up to the G of God. Yes, Andrew, you did. You're good. Got some spots on this one. Looks like somebody swirled something on it, and then it just stayed on the coin. Yeah. That's not a good thing. I mean, it looks okay. It's still a nice uncirculated coin. Full red. All right. Coin number 7. Merry Christmas to you, to Morocco. Chris Vines, next coin in the roll. Okay, Chris Vines has our second example of this RPM that has a die chip in the 9 and the 5 of the date. So we know this die at this point. Just checking for a double die lid, looking again for a double die reverse. It doesn't look like we're going to end up with a double die reverse on this one. Nope. Just have a decent RPM. But that's good enough, right? Chris Vines with an RPM. Coin number 7 in the roll. Let's take a look at coin number 8. Coin number 8 will go to Mr. Worley. You people overwhelmed with the number of rolls that you're getting from me? Is that what's going on? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm kind of gleaning just a little bit from the chat as I'm doing this. I don't see anything on this side. Let's take a look on the other side. Well, so far I've got nothing. And yeah, I guess it is a good problem to have, isn't it? All right, Mr. Worley got himself a normal coin out of number 8 in the roll. This is reveal number 44. I should probably change the title, huh? What do you guys think? I think probably a good idea. I gotta get my keyboard out of my drawer over here. 44, and it is a 1957 D bank wrap cent roll. Okay, there we go. Well, now the title of the show matches what we're actually opening. Maybe we'll have a little bit better luck. Okay. Now on to coin number 9. Chuck Patillo gets this one. Coin number 9. This appears to be another one of that same die that is going to have scratches around the Y and scratches in front of the face, or maybe not. Not strong enough to really see them. But we're looking at no die variety on the obverse of this one. Let's flip it over and see if we have anything over here. I don't see anything yet. Nothing of particular interest. So we'll pop Chuck Patillo's coin number 9 inside of its flip. Put it in the stack with the others and move on to coin number 10. That'll be from Marshall. New Marshall in town. Coin number 10. We're still kind of in the discovery phase of this particular roll. I'd say up to about 20 coins, you're still learning what's in it. This is going to be the same die we just looked at. It has just a little dot on the bottom of the D that looks like could possibly be a real tiny minor split serif, but we're not going to be able to count that one in because by the time this coin would have made it to AU condition, you wouldn't be able to see that split anymore. And the sort of listing isn't fair to the people who can't afford to buy a bunch of BU rolls to go through. If they're going through circulated wheat cents, you have to consider that when you're building a list of dies for people to look for. Mr. Worley again. Seems like Mr. Worley got about half the roll. So far, he did. Okay. Let's see what we're going to be able to pick out of this as a marker. The short die scratch between the TY, above and between. I prefer not using markers away from the date when I can at all help it. That way I could just look at the date and know my marker and move on. Looks like he's got one heavy die scratch coming out of the middle of his nostril. Headed basically straight down. Okay. Nothing there. That's coin number 11 for James Worley. It is a pretty nice roll. I mean, there's not a lot of defect on these coins. I mean, these things are at least choice to gem BU. Let's see, Chris Vines. Let's see what happens with Chris Vines here. Get him a good one. Okay, we have another one of those little RPMs. This is a repunch mint mark. You can see the extra serif on the bottom of the D. And you can also see the die break inside the 9 and the 5 of the date, which is customary for this particular die in this particular state. State meaning the age of the die. So there's a difference between die state and die stage. Stages and states kind of run together, but they don't. They're unrelated to one another as far as exactly what they are, but they are related in how and why they form. Nothing yet, Majestic. Couple of RPMs, minor ones. We haven't found anything earth-shattering. So, I take this head off. It's starting to itch my forehead. There we go. Now I feel more normal. Actually, yeah, more normal and less Chuck. Okay. So, die state, specifically, here's Mr. Worley again. Did I put anybody else in this bag? What is going on here? So 1, 2. Well, I think he got 5 coins, and we've already seen 4 of them now. This is the 4th. Well, Mr. Worley gets one of those RPMs again. This would be his second one. Hey, boys and girls, I think we may have a double die. Be the first I've noticed out of these 3 coins that I have here, but yeah, this is one of the double dies right here. You can see, let me turn the light down some. You can see right there on the Y how there's separation lines on the top of the Y. And then you can follow those separation lines on over to the T. And here they are on the R. And the E, just a little bit on the E. But then they kind of go away after that. They don't really show well on the I or the B at all. But there it is on the bottom of the R, the bottom of the T, and all of the Y. And it may carry over to the 1. They usually don't. Okay, so we do have a double die on this coin. Let me check a couple of the others that we've already seen to see if there's hub doubling on those as well. There should be. I'm not sure how I missed it, but I did. And the way I picked up on it was when the coin was turned at a certain angle, I could see that doubling on there, and I thought, that's different. Well, not really different, but yeah, you can see it. You can see the doubling now on the R and the T. Let me drag out Chris Vine's coin number 7 here. I'll take a quick look at it for the same doubling and see if it's there. It is indeed there. So somehow I missed that on the first couple of coins I pulled out. So folks, this is a double die obverse that we're picking here as well. So we're picking not only a repunchment mark, but a double die obverse. How is it and why is it that everything get all discombobulated over here? Let me little flip over. There we go. So Mr. Worley has 2 of these, and Chris Vine has 1. But that is a double die obverse. All right, next, Adam Chambers. Adam. Let's see what Adam gets out of this roll. I'm glad we're getting double dies now. See what we come up with here. Now, as with any other roll that I go through, I will be going through these again to be sure that what I saw is what I thought I saw as I was going through the roll. And sometimes I don't discover that I've noticed something until, 2 or 3 of them pass by. Then I pick up on it. I go back and I look at the other coins, and then I go back through the whole roll again to be sure I didn't miss any of them. And that's what I'm going to do for you people. I'm going to go back through every one of these coins and make sure I didn't miss anything. That everything I called a normal coin indeed was. Or it was too minor to list, either one or the other. All right, let's take... Hello, Deanne. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3 examples of a rather minor RPM with a double die. Obverse. Andrew O'Neill. And here's another one. You can see the split in the lower serif. There is a tiny split in the upper serif. There's a die break inside the 9 and 1 inside the 5. And you come over here and you can see doubling at the bottom of the R, the T, and the Y in Liberty. That is a double die. So Andrew O'Neill scores a double die RPM combination coin. These in uncirculated should be roughly somewhere between $15 and $25. Just to give you a heads up about value. That would be a decent MS64 red. If you got a 65 red, you're probably talking on the upper end of that 25. No, sir, Mr. Forbes. These spots have been sold out for quite some time now. We had a show Friday evening where all of the rolls for the next week and a half are sold. Levels of Madness. Let's see what Levels gets. He gets himself some sort of piece of crud laying on the coin where the 9 is. So let me get that off of there real quick. I think I moved it. There we go. All it takes is just a couple of fibers of cotton running across the top of the coin. You don't have to scrub it. And that'll dust anything. It's like a feather duster in miniature style. Just dusting things off the coin. Let's take a look at the reverse. And nothing on the reverse. That was for Levels of Madness. Coin number 16. Let's take a look at coin number 17 now. Coin number 17 will also go to Levels of Madness. Not seeing anything there. So dice date refers specifically to the age of the die at the time it strikes coin. So an early dice date simply means that there hadn't been very many coins minted by that die at the time that coin was struck. It kind of tells you what kind of detail to expect on the coin. Because an early dice date is going to have all the full detail as was intended when they created the die. A very late dice date, on the other hand, is going to be all worn out and the details are going to be mushy and flowing away because the molecules of steel move outward like a pancake or like raindrops on a windshield when you're driving through traffic. How those raindrops push outward toward the edge. That's a big die scratch for little or nothing right there. Okay, we've seen this die. That's right, we have seen this die. And so those molecules of steel keep moving and moving and moving throughout the process of striking coins. And after a while, all of the lettering near the outside edge of the design is going to start to turn to mush. That's evident when you're looking at a later dice date coin. Comparing that to an earlier dice date coin, they're kind of obvious what the difference is. But the early dice date is generally 5, maybe up to 10,000 strikes. And then you're on very late dice date by the time you've got 100,000 strikes. When you've got 100,000 strikes, your die is basically worn out. And they use some of them for up to 1,000,000 strikes. So you can think that probably on a full life of a die, complete full life of the die, at least 50 to 60% of all the coins struck are going to be very late dice date. Then late dice date represent probably another 15 to 20%. And all the rest of the dice dates fall under the remaining amount. So we're talking about an instance where finding coins that are early dice date is actually kind of scarce. What to expect on an early dice date coin? The first thing that you're looking for to show that you have an early dice date coin is that you are not going to have any metal flow on the surface. And I'll show you what metal flow looks like. This one's for Benjamin Marler right here. Okay, Benjamin gets a normal coin, but we're going to take a look here real quick. Well, we don't know that it's normal yet. Now we do. I'm going to take a look here real quick at dye flow. If I can get some dye flow really zoomed in so we can just take a look at it. There we go. There's some dye flow there that we can easily see microscopically. You see how that looks like a lava flow, and it goes from left to right across the screen? What that is at the very beginning of the dye's life, the molecules of steel on the surface of the dye start out in a more or less an even pattern, and they're polished down real nice and shiny, and the coins are struck, and it looks almost proof-like, I would say. A lot of early dye state dyes do. And then as the dye mints coins, all these little molecules of steel start to move outward toward the edge. They start to move like raindrops will move when you speed up on a highway. And as the dye keeps striking coins, it's just mashing itself out. And that's what all these little lines are. It's molecules of steel that have created trenches in the surface of the dye. And those trenches become the luster that we see when we shine light onto the coin, because we're capturing half the surface, one side of the little canyon, and not the other side of the little canyon. And so as we twist the coin or tilt the coin, that cartwheel will twist around the coin because of the difference in the direction of the flow lines. And so flow lines develop after early dye state. Mid dye state, you'll have some flow lines. Late dye state, you'll have more. And very late dye state, your flow lines will actually impede the appearance of the coin. So this one is actually a mid dye state. It's not early dye state because you do have those flow lines, but it's also not a late dye state because the outer edges of the lettering are still sharp. They're still nice and sharp. Let's take a look at the reverse on this one. This one's a little later. This one's almost a full late dye state. And the reason for that, the reason I can tell you that, look at the fuzz on the outside edges of the letters headed toward the rim. It looks like they're almost like a continuation, a confluence of sorts. Give you a really good close look at a letter. See that right there? See how there's like you go up on the letter and then you kind of ramp back down to the field. And that ramp down is actually a concavity in the die. It's an area of steel movement. And that steel moved and it scooted out of the way and it chipped out of the way. And now you've got this fuzz on the outside of the letters on the die. And so when you're looking at them with magnification like this, they almost look like an extra set of letters. They almost look like hub doubling until you know what you're looking at. You can see the it's a doubling of sorts, but it's just a braided die doubling is basically what this is called. And that's exactly what happened with the 1955 Lincoln cents, on which you can see the appearance of a secondary 5 next to the last 5 of the date. It's the poor man's double die, they call it. That's just a braided die doubling from a late die state die that has nothing to do with any sort of die variety, double die error, or anything else. Well, we got Benjamin Marler again. We just got his other, he only got 2 coins in this, I think. 2 or 3. This one looks like could be a little double split serif, but we don't have any breakage in the date. So let's go in and take a look at the mint mark. This one could easily be, it is a new die for us today. You can see, let me key the light a little bit more. There we go. Now you can see, you can actually see a tripled serif on the bottom. That looks like 3 serifs on the bottom. So that's a pretty nice, you can see a nice nice split in the top and what appears to be a nice double split on the bottom. So this one will turn out to list nicely. Get a better picture of it there. There we go. Now let me zoom in out. turn the light back down a little bit. Let's see if we can find any good markers on this one. I'm not really seeing much for markers. See if we got any cracks or breaks in the hair. The different places I actually look for markers on these coins. The rim, especially up around In God We Trust, is usually a good place to get started. A lot of times you'll have gouges or scratches or something around the rim, somewhere around the rim, either above or below the bust. This particular case, I don't have anything. The other place is to look in the field near the neckline for die scratches. And if your die is an older, a later die state, which this one's a mid to late die state, I always look in here for cracks in the hair or cracks on the forehead, because when those show up, you know that those are going to be repeated over and over again. I think I see a die crack, but I'll have to zoom in to see if that's actually what I'm looking at. That dark line. Nope, that's a cut in the coin, not a die scratch. That was actually something that was struck through during the strike. Not really seeing much for markers on this yet. Let's see. Look for anything I can find that shows as a marker. I prefer something around the date. It does appear to be a heavy flow line coming out of the southeast corner of the 5 of the date. I guess I could use that in a pinch. Yeah, we have some die scratches, northwest to southeast die scratches that are worn down quite significantly around the date, but I should be able to use that. So Benjamin Marler gets an RPM out of this roll here. It is the first example of our second repunchment mark of the roll. Hello, Frank. Hurlstormer gets the next coin. What does Hurlstormer get? Now, that's a little bit about die state. So you know about die state now. And die state is simply talking about the age of the die. Specific markers that develop on dies, like die scratches, die breaks, die chips, die cracks, cuds, clash marks, polishing marks, all of that stuff is what we call markers. And markers develop, and every time a new marker develops on a die, you change stages. So you can have 3 stages in early die state, because you have 3 different markers that form in early die state. It's not usual, but it can be. Sometimes markers are specifically the die state itself. So if there's no real development of die state or of markers from early to mid die state, your early and your mid die state might just say early die state, mid die state for the stage A, stage B markers. And so your markers are describing what happened to the coin. Your die state, die stage is what happened to the coin. Die state is how old is the die that struck the coin. Chuck Daughtrey comes up next. Not seeing anything there. We do have a double die. This is a double die obverse. It's a relatively strong one. Nice for a 1957. Can you see it? That's nice. That's cute. You can see it in the RT. You can see it there in the E. You can see it here in the B. I don't know that it's going to spread up to these letters, but sometimes it does. Look, you can see it on the I and the N, way over on the left-hand edge of the I and the N. You can see it there on the G and the O. Just a little bit on the D. I'm not sure if that's hub doubling or not on the... I think it is. I think we've still got hub doubling going on all the way over here. Is that DDO number 1, Joshua? I haven't... oh, there we go. Let me zoom out on this so it's easier to see more details at once. And I'll turn the light down just a little bit to make it a little easier to see the doubling itself. Turn this in the right direction to get the shadow flowing off the doubling the right way. Maybe I had it right to begin with. There we go. You can see it on the T really well right now. Yeah, find myself a marker to use on this so I can be sure that I don't miss any more of these. And of course, I'm definitely going to be going through this roll another time just to be sure that I did not miss anything. Yeah, the horizontal horizontal bar on the T is just, that's real nice. Zoom back in and take another quick look at it before we move on to the next coin. Too bad that R has a cut running across it, but you can see the doubling there at the bottom of the RT. It does look like flattened doubling, like machine doubling, but I guarantee you it's not. This is hub doubling. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to zoom back out on this one. This one belongs to Chuck Patillo. Okay, one more swing around. Get a good quick look at the reverse. Thank you, Majestic. I appreciate it. That $5 super chat from Majestic Sounds of Coins. Got some die scratches on the reverse, north and south. Okay, I'm definitely going to hold this one out. I will need to go through all of the other coins prior to this one to be sure that I did not miss one of these prior to this. I do sometimes get into a habit of only looking for RPMs, and I miss the double dice sometimes. But I always go back through my rolls one more time just to be sure. All right, here's Adam Chambers for the next coin. Adam, this coin is for you. Nothing on the mint mark. I believe it is another double die, I think. Maybe not. No, not this one. This one matches the first die we found in the roll. It's got the die scratches to the right of the Y of Liberty. Nope, got nothing on this one. And nothing over here either. So if I were to tell you that there is a die crack between the L of Liberty and the Y of Liberty, and there's a crack running all the way across Liberty, that describes something that happened to the die. So given that that describes something that happened to the die, then you're talking about a marker, and markers are part of the stage of the die. Here's Taco John. If I told you that there were flow lines coming off the date, heavy flow lines coming off the date, then you're talking about something that has to do with the age of the die at the time it struck the coin, or die state, the amount of wear the die had to go through to get to the point where it is. So I hope that difference makes sense to you. because they are different. It's kind of like I don't really know how to assimilate it, but it's here's late to very late die state. You see what I'm saying there? Outside edges of those letters are pretty much just completely obliterated, pretty much merging toward the rim. And it's that way, it's going to be that way most of the way around. It's where you got everything is just kind of mushing out. Now the center could still be in pretty good shape. Although a lot of times the center is going to show these, see that area next to the T on the left side of the T, where part of it kind of flows down toward the corner of the N, and then as you move up, it flows straight over to the N. And you've got these flow lines, they look like lava pools, just moving in all different kinds of directions, just oozing around. That's what happens to the central area of designs when you start getting into the late die states. And another thing that'll happen to these when you get to the late die states, see this one's not as late, but you see that step off appearance that you see right there on his chin? There's a step off there where the flow lines just kind of fall off the edge of a cliff. That kind of fall away happens as well. You get it's a strange way that the molecules tend to bunch up around the edge and fall out of the die, and you end up with this it's kind of a step off. You can see it here on the back of the hair pretty well. Hello, Irma. So that's the kind of stuff that happens. Santa Claus needs my hat. Oh, okay. Which hat? You want this one? You want this one? You want the elf ears, the green one with the elf ears, or do you want the first one I got? You have your choice. Just tell me the red one, the green one, or the stocking cap, and then I'll put it back on. Okay, so that's coin number 25. We've been through half the roll. So far, what I'm showing that we found is a couple of RPMs and a double, actually, no, we found one RPM and two double dies. And the RPM, I believe, also shows hub doubling. So we're finding a nice amount of double dies in this. There we go. Ho, ho, ho. Wait. There we go. You can't do that with the legs going straight up. He's got to be bouncing. There you go. That's the way that works. Okay. Wait. Got to draw a name. I haven't drawn a name for this one yet. Let me draw a name. Taco John. Taco John will get the next coin in the roll. What do we have on the next coin in the roll? This is the one with the really strong die scratches on the left side. So it's a normal die. And this, again, folks, this is what can actually help you learn to speed through a roll a little bit faster, is if you start learning your dies that are in the roll by picking up markers on every coin. So you pick up markers on every coin as you go through. So like for instance, we are likely to see this die again. So if you want to see this again, just so that you can get your bearings about you on it. Look, there's 3 heavy die scratches coming out of the bottom of the N, and there's a really heavy one coming up off the top of the Y. So that is something that you should be able to use to recognize this die a second time around. And when you see it, you'll know that it's a quote-unquote normal die, because there's no hub doubling on this. So let's pop Taco John's name in there and move right on along to the next coin in the roll. This is coin number 27. It's going to go to Jeremy. Jeremy will get this coin number 27. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Now you got me looking for the double dice first. see anything on this one. Okay, there's nothing on the obverse. Very late die state reverse. No hub doubling on the reverse. So we have ourselves a normal coin for coin number 27 in the roll. Got anybody trying to watch the football game on TV today? I tell you, man, it couldn't get much more boring than watching the Browns and the Ravens with no score. No score, no score, no score. Okay, so this is another one of the first die in the roll. So this is today's die number 1. It has to break in the 9 and the 5 and a double split serif on the D. And we have hub doubling on the RTY of Liberty. It's not easy to see with this scope. There we go. You can see it just a little bit there. And so that's going to be from Mr. Marshall. New Marshall in town. Gets himself a nice RPM DDO combo. And it's not the one that is Cherry Picker listed, but it is still a combo coin. Cherry Picker's Guide lists RPM number 2, DDO number 5, or is it the other way around? RPM 5, DDO 2, I can't remember now. But either way, they list that, and it's got basically the same thing this one does, except the RPM's a little stronger. Well, now Mr. Marshall gets himself another one. So if one wasn't enough, now he has 2. The exact same die comes back up out of the roll again, as did the exact same name. Well, I'm glad I know that's there, because it would be hard to see with this scope. But I've already zoomed into one of them and showed you what it looked like. A real quick check of the reverse to see if there's any errors that should be noted. There was one time I was going through just the reverses on a bunch of 1983 Lincoln cents because I wanted to see if I could find a double die reverse. And I was going through them and I was just about to toss them out. I had put them in a tub and I was about to toss them out when I looked down and there was a huge struck through cap die. Of course, that was on the obverse, but I didn't even look at the obverse. I was just looking at the reverses of the coins. So I stopped and I went through the whole mess again just to see what I could see and make sure that I hadn't missed anything. And I did. That's the one that I missed, but that was a really nice coin that I missed. Went back and found it on my second pass. Let's see here. Nothing on that side. These double dies, I think there's 7, 8 of them listed. I don't know if there's more than one that has a combination with a repunch mint mark. This is Bill Betts. Bill Betts gets himself one. There we go. Now you can see the doubling on the R really well on this. So Bill Betts will pick up one of these die ones here. Now I will further identify it when I have a chance to take a look at all the listings. I do a cross-reference on everything I can. So if I've got a Coppercoins listing, then I look it up on Variety Vista to see if I can find it there. And then I look it up on John Wexler's website, see if I can find it there. If I find one or find the other, then I will work to make cross-references where I can and make things a little easier for everybody else. Taco John gets the next coin. That's coin number 32. And coin number 32 shows us no repunch mint mark. does not appear to be hub doubling. No double die. Alright, let's look at the reverse for any signs of errors that need to be mentioned. I tell you what, today is the coldest day I have ever seen. Well, ever seen since I've lived here. But it's the coldest day I've seen in a couple of years now. Few years. Because I've lived in Florida for quite a while. Now I live in North Carolina. Given that I moved up to North Carolina, seeing temperatures that don't get out of the low 40s during the day is quite unusual for me. Wearing flannel shirts is quite unusual. Just getting back into the whole Midwestern thing where I need to start wearing heavier clothing, because I was getting to a point in Florida where I was wearing shorts year-round. Shorts and t-shirts were about all I ever wore. Let's see. JOB, the link instant resource is not mine. That's not my website. If there's any ratings or anything there, I don't know anything about them. I had at one time started to collaborate with them, but we couldn't find a way of co-branding things that was acceptable to everyone, so I just decided to just keep doing it on my own. Oh, look at that. Gosh, that's a Mondo scratch there. It's a huge die scratch. There you go. Too bad it doesn't need to be used for anything, but man, that is nice. Alright, Jeremy got himself a nice 1957D Lincoln Cent. What comes next, chicken or the egg? Let's find out. Oh, there we go. Somebody just got the wrapper. That was Jeremy. Jeremy just got this 1957 Denver wrapper, and it's the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, Illinois. There we go. Now I got Jeremy's name on there for the wrapper. I'll set it down here inside the wrapper and set that aside. Robert, that's one of the reasons why I went through the effort of making Coppercoins, is because I did not agree with the lack of marker information that other listing systems gave. And at that point in time, if you wanted to know anything, you had to buy a book. It wasn't available on the internet because they didn't have Variety Vista. Kaneka's website, for a long time, Kaneka's website, Steve Elliott, I'm not sure. I really don't know. For a long time, we know this die. 3 die scratches out of the end. So this is a normal one here. That goes to Levels of Madness. Kaneka's website only showed a listing of the dies with major marker information written out in short blurbs. No photos at all. So it was really kind of useless. And then John Wexler started working on a website, but he was moving really, really slowly getting things done, and it wasn't easy to use at all. No hub doubling. No repunchment mark. The Cherry Picker's Guide CPG only shows about 5% of all of the known die varieties. The Cherry Picker's Guide is a best of the best listing. It isn't an inclusive listing. It's not a comprehensive listing. Comprehensive listings are done by specialists. The Cherry Picker's Guide was written by a couple of guys who really liked the nicest stuff out there, wanted to get it listed for people to be able to find it, and they wrote a book, and it went viral, and it kept going viral, and over the years they've basically just kept it the same, where they only show the best of the best stuff. So it doesn't surprise me at all that there's no listings for any given particular date in the Cherry Picker's Guide. I can show you a number of very nice repunchment marks and double dies that are not listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide at all. And they are very nice. That is nice. We got 32 watchers and 27 likes. If anybody hasn't pounded that like button yet, I would really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a whole lot with YouTube and how they pick my videos out when people do searches. They see it as more relevant information when there's more likes. There we go. Now we got 33 viewers and 31 likes. Very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Helps me out a whole lot. What we got to try to figure out a way to do, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I want to try to do some sort of a thing where I can do colors, and people can call in, everybody can hear you, and you can ask me a question, and then I can give you answers to the question. We can kind of chit-chat while I'm going through these things, because it kind of helps alleviate some of the, I don't know, I guess maybe monotony of just going through a bunch of coins and listening to me talk, if we were able to actually speak with one another. You know what I'm saying? Hurlstormer. Hurlstormer gets the next one. Hey, Coin Addict. Okay, we got nothing on the mint mark. And we've got nothing on Liberty on this one. Nothing on the eyeball. Okay, that thing on the top of the E is not going to be hub doubling. If it were, it would be continued on somewhere else. And I see no continuation of it. Hello, Mr. Feely. Yes, we do have finds. We have finds. We have we have 3 different double die obverses plus a repunchment mark. Or is it 2 repunchment marks and 3 double die reverses? I can't remember, but we've got a number of different double die reverses and at least 1 different repunchment mark. So we are finding stuff. Good stuff. We are due for another good stuff coin, though. So maybe we'll get it for Levels of Madness. Let's see what happens. Well, I thought I'd look at Liberty first to see if I find any hub doubling there, and there's nothing on Liberty. What do we have over here? Well, it looks like we have nothing over here, too. So we have nothing here at all on this coin. There's your trust. No doubled eye, no doubled ear, no doubled god. Oh, well, there's our reason right there. This is one of our known dies. This one's got the 3 die scratches coming down out of the N, and it's got the really strong one coming up from the Y. So we know this die. We know this die doesn't produce anything simply because there wasn't anything on the die when it struck the coin. Yeah, we'd be on the hunt for an MS-68, but we'd be doing that for quite a while for a 1957D. 57D rolls are not generally known for producing high-level uncirculated coins. The high-level stuff, when it did, it would come out of mint sets. That's not even often. Although I have found some pretty nice stuff in rolls. It takes a lot of rolls to find good coins. Really good high-grade coins. I mean, this one's nice. There's nothing wrong with the coin. A few little gashes. Okay. It's got a few little gashes on the chin. But it's, you know, something like this will grade a 65. Yeah, pretty nice. You get a 68 out of one of these guys. Yeah, you got to have a slammed strike, which this one's not. You got to have pretty much no marks on the coin, which this one does. This one's a nice Gemby coin. It's got nice luster, nice even surfaces. It's got a decent strike. It's not a heavy strike. And another for Ron Fry. Let's see what Ron Fry gets. My camera's kind of blinking in and out on me here. Let's see. Well, let's see. Got nothing here on the obverse. Let me flip it over and take a look at the reverse. And I got it's an interesting die scratch right there. That would be a marker for something. Yeah. And we got nothing on that one. Ron Fry gets a normal 1957D at a coin number 40. Looking up coin number 41. Levels of Madness. Levels of Madness. We have a little clash mark over there next to the 1. Nothing on the mint mark. No hub doubling, it appears. Flip it over and take a look at the other side. For all those who have been in the roll reveals over the last couple of weeks are wondering where are your coins, like the dimes and the nickels and all the other stuff that we've been through, I'm finishing up the reveals from last week and finishing up taking photographs of coins and getting flips marked. And as soon as I do that, I'll be ready to start packing these things and getting them shipped out. I should get everything shipped tomorrow. Just an update, let you know. You're at the dock with Bug. Oh no. She didn't get better, or did the rash get worse? Andrew O'Neill. Well, give me a call if you need to. We are having a good reveal. We found some double dies already. We found some repunch mint marks. We're doing pretty good. I started printing the names on paper and cutting them. It's taken me a lot less time than writing the names out on little pieces of paper. So I know my direction from here on out with regard to this. I'm going to be sending, well, I can't do that because that doesn't happen until I actually sell the roll, but I'm going to be cutting my own little name cards, see? Oops, there we go. That's printed. It says reveal number 044 and then A. O'Neill. Stonecutter. Well, we're up to coin number 43 right now. So far, we have found about 12.5 double dies and repunch mint marks out of this. Double dies are showing up in the BERTY of Liberty. The repunch mint marks are double split serif repunch mint marks. We got Ron Fry's coin up right now. It's coin number 43. Not seeing anything in the date mint mark area. Okay, this one's got the die scratch headed north out of the Y and the 3 die scratches south out of the N. We've seen this die before. And this die produces nothing for us except possibly nice grade coins. This one's not the best in the world. It is a decent choice of gem uncirculated. And so that's what we've got. That's coin number 43. And for coin number 44, we'll go to JOB. Coin number 44 is, hey, it's our RPM double die combo. You have a double split serif RPM. You have die breaks inside the 9 and the 5 of the date. And then when you get over to the RTY of Liberty, you've got hub doubling on the ERTY of Liberty. And this matches our first die of the day, for which we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is our 9th one of these. So we're having a pretty decent day. I'd say decent day so far. Don't miss out. 8 p.m. this evening Central Time, we're going to be opening that elusive roll of 1954 Lincoln Cents that Stephen Dallas bought for everyone. And I've already got everybody's names on cards for that. The gift for everybody here from Stephen Dallas. Be opening that at 8 p.m. this evening. Is it 8 or is it 6? I think it's 6. Yeah, somebody check for me. I'm pretty sure it is 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We got less than 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes. We're going to be opening that 1954 roll. Hurlstormer. Hurlstormer will get... Bum, 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 bum. Looks normal. Nice, clean, better grade coin. Very nice one. But no die variety. That's a nice gem coin right there. That's coin number 45. That's right, just enough time to get some chow. Adam Chambers. What does Adam get? Coin number 46. And coin number 46 will provide us with nothing. That would just have a normal coin on the obverse here. Do have just a little bit of toning around the outside edge of the coin. You can see that there's a little extra pinkishness. That's kind of cool. And let's see, got nothing on the reverse. So I have another normal coin. This one's for Adam Chambers. And coin number 47 will go to Ron Fry. Ron Fry's coin number 47 shows us normal mint mark. But it is a double die. You can see the doubling in the BERT and some in the Y. This is spread to the north. The B has a break in the inside of it in the lower part. Nice double die there. You can see it in God and on We. You can see it on the tail of the R. Trust. Nice. Nice double die. Congrats, Ron. You got yourself a nice double die out of the hunt. Put that one over there with Chuck Patillo's. All right. Why don't I have... Did we end up with 47? For some reason, I don't have enough names. How'd that happen? Oh, yeah, I do. They're like wedged in the side of my bag over here. Let me get them out. There we go. Okay. Boom shakalaka. All that bum about nothing. What do we got? Here's coin number 48 for Mr. Fletcher. What do we have on coin number 48? It appears to be a normal coin. And it is. Decent uncirculated 1957 D-Lincoln cent, but other than that, absolutely nothing. So that's coin number 48 for this roll. We got 2 left. Coin 49 will go to Adam Chambers. Well, he gets one of our DDO RPM combos. The tail of the R has been hit. So it's not going to show quite as well. But it is a DDO RPM combo. Dennis, I have, but it was 2 coins I pulled in a BU roll about a year and a half ago. And I've probably been through 15 or 20 BU rolls since then. And they don't show up very often. But when they do, boy, they're nice. And oddly enough, out of that same roll, I got 2 of the RPM number 8. The one with the D completely separated south of the date. Or the other D. You got a D and D south. I couldn't remember what this one was, so I'm going to have to look at it again. Okay, it's a normal. I pulled a couple of RPM number 1s out of rolls. Here's JOB for the last coin in the roll, coin number 50. Gosh, look at the color on that thing. A nice color. No hub doubling on this one. No RPM. This is going to be a normal coin, except for the color. Color's kind of cute. And the reverse side, the side that was exposed. It's pretty nice. Nothing wrong with that. There you go, JOB. That's coin number 50 in the roll, and we are done, folks. Done with this roll. Here's all of our normal coins out of the roll. There's everything that's normal out of the roll. It's going to turn out to be, I'd say, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 to 35 coins. We have the die number 1, which is the DDO RPM combo. We've got 9 of those in here. Then we've got another one that was, I believe, a DDO. Check here real quick. I believe it's an RPM. I don't remember exactly why we held it out right now, but Benjamin Marler will have that one. And it's the only one like it that I know of in the roll, but there could be others. And then we have the nice double die obverse that shows doubling to the south in Liberty. We've got 2 of those. So there we go. And that's it. That's what we've got. And so I will be back at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. I'll be wearing a different hat, but I'll be here. And we will take care of the roll reveal number 56. The roll reveal number 56 is going to be a 1954S Lincoln cent roll. I hope you join me because 54S could have all kinds of wonderful things pop out of it. But until then, I think I'm going to go take a break and try to get dinner in me. And Be well. Jess, if you need to call me, just do so. As I imagine you're there because of a rash, and I want to know. I want to know what's going on. I'm kind of worried about her. So everybody put in a word for little Bug. Jessica's daughter is not feeling well today, and they're at the doctor. So we'll see you guys later.